Hey guys, I'm Peggy from the Witch's Garden, trying to grow a cut flower garden here on my allotment in Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan. Thanks for checking out my channel. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about my zinnia. Here are my zinnia. I planted two types of zinnia here. I planted these zinnia peaches and cream mixed, and some that I found in my local shop in Japan, these nice green ones. Shall I show you that again? This and this. It's not quite the same. These zinnia, I was so excited about them. I thought they were going to be so pretty. They're so pretty. They're supposed to be such nice colours and a big kind of, I think they call it a cupcake or more of a scabious form, and these ones were supposed to be like little dahlia, and they're not. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and harvest what I have. I mean, I've got them, so I'm going to cut them and take them and do something with them. But then we're going to talk about what went wrong and why they look like this and not like the picture on the packet. Yeah. Okay, so first we're going to harvest what I have. A lot of people, I'm told, harvest their zinnia too early, and there's a really easy way to check when you need to harvest them. Grab them, wiggle them, he's okay. Let me find a couple. Okay, so when you wiggle him, he's still really flopsy and bendy, not ready to harvest. When you wiggle this one, he stays nice and solid, ready to harvest. This one, he's actually nice and solid. I might leave him to open a bit more anyway. So yeah, if they're all floppy and wiggly like this, then you want to leave them a bit longer. So you just go through, work your way through, and see if they're still super wiggly, leave them a bit longer. But if they're nice and stiff, then you can cut them. I haven't actually been down in the garden for a while because the plague hit our household, so we've all been isolating and on lockdown. So a lot of these flowers are well past their best. I'm not going to do anything with these. This one's a bit far gone as well, but it's really important that you come out and you take them anyway. As soon as you stop taking them, the plant will start to make seeds instead of more flowers. So if you want to keep your season going, you need to come out and cut these ones anyway. So even if we're not going to use them, we're going to take them just to make sure the plant is producing as many blooms as possible. Yeah, these are all too far gone. Okay, so that's them all deadheaded, and there aren't actually many I can use because they've all been sitting out here too long. But you can see quite clearly that this is what I was expecting, and this is what I've got. I mean, yeah, they're a bit past it. The green ones are slightly better. I mean, they're a bit closer. I'm not so unhappy with that, but it's still not quite the same. So we have to ask, what went wrong? What went wrong with my zinnia? What have I done wrong? I've looked it up, and I pretty much did a lot of things wrong. Some are out of my control. First off, this isn't what zinnia look like. If humans weren't in the picture, those zinnia would not exist. They're all hybrid types. And having looked at it, it very much depends on what kind of zinnia you're trying to grow, how hybridized, I think that's a word, they are. But they have a pretty low success rate apparently. Now, if you're getting them from a reputable seed dealer, then you're going to have more success. I did. That was a pretty good seed dealer that I got them from, so I was expecting a high success rate. But I've heard that people get about a 10 to 15% success rate, but it can be as low as 1% of your flowers actually turning out into that nice cupcake or dahlia form. And it's just because that's not what they're meant to do. That's not what they're meant to look like. They revert back to what they should be naturally. So if you're getting lots of double and dahlia shapes, then yay, good for you. Tell me who you are buying your seeds from, please. The main thing I think that's gone wrong with these guys is water stress. Again and again I was hearing water stress, water stress. Now, if I was doing this on a bigger scale, if this was my own property, the first thing I would have done is put down some form of drip irrigation to make sure that these guys are getting watered regularly and deeply and often. I can't do that here. There's no way for me to possibly do that here. And with the heat that we've been having, it is a lot cooler the last few days, and we have actually had some rain, which is lovely. But generally, since these guys have been in the ground, it's been hot and drought-like. I've been coming and watering them manually, but obviously it's not as deep as I would if I had a hose even out here. And the first thing that the flowers are going to do, mosquito, when they are water stressed is revert back to being singles, and I'm pretty sure that's what's happened here. Just the stress of being out here in the heat and not having enough water. So if you're growing these at home, just make sure that you're regularly getting them nice and wet at their feet. You don't want it to be soaking wet, but enough to get them to plump up and be the fullest flowers that they can be, basically. The next thing I've found is good soil. Again, this isn't my soil. Sorry, the mosquitoes are insane tonight. I'm going to go and put on my wee mosquito hat back in a second. Okay, I'm back and I'm veiled. They're still eating my hands though. What? Okay, what were we talking about? Soil. Okay, so the next thing is good soil. I'm on an allotment. I don't know who was here before. I don't know how well they looked after the soil. I put down some stuff when I moved in to try and help with the soil health, but it wasn't very much. And I haven't actually been feeding my flowers, which I should be, and I know I should be. So that could possibly lead into it as well. So from here on in, I am going to try and give the flowers a bit more nutrition, especially now they're blooming. But I think it's probably too late. Once they've reverted to singles, they're going to stay as singles. So good soil health is really important. Next, I have learned that you are best to direct sow your zinnia. Now, if you have been watching since the beginning, you'll know that I got onto the allotment really late in the season. I didn't get access to it until June. So I had started everything at home a little bit earlier and then put everything out, transplanted everything out into the garden once I was allowed access to it. That was maybe not the best plan. I've learned that it's very easy for zinnia to get transplant shock, and again, as soon as they get a little shock, the first thing they're going to do is revert back to singles. So direct sowing your zinnia is the best idea if you can. And also, again, something I didn't really have any control over, I've learned that you should try and start them early. Now, this is a bit controversial because zinnia are supposed to be heat-loving plants. They like it warm. So I thought they would be okay and actually be thriving in this weather. But the general online consensus is that you actually want to try and start them as early as you can once the risk of frost is over. So yeah, get them in the ground earlier and direct sow them. So this is what I've learned has probably gone wrong and left me with pretty rubbish looking zinnia. But I haven't given up hope. So we have the other part of the garden over there where I sowed a lot of stuff and nothing came up, nothing germinated. So I have a big chunk of the garden that's not being used. We are now in August, and although that seems quite late in the season, I am going to try and sow some more seeds. So I have some left in my packets. I have already gone ahead and ordered most of my seed for next year, which may seem a little premature, but I need to get that garden planned, and I am determined to get everything going at the right time this time. So I'm not, because I'm using this as a learning experience to find out what grows here, what I like to grow and what I don't like to grow. I'm not planning on growing many of the same thing again. I want to try another round of different flowers and see if any of them do better, because not very much has gone well in this garden so far. So I'm going to use up these last seeds. I'm going to clear out any of the weeds or things that are growing in that bare patch over there, and I'm going to try and direct sow these. Now, it's kind of worked for my dahlia seed where I direct sowed where I was planning to have my delphinium, which never germinated in. They're coming up and they're doing quite well. So it might just be that, well, right now Instagram and things are flooded with pictures of people's beautiful big dahlia, I might be putting those pictures up around mid-November. Maybe. I'm hopeful. If this works. Oh, that is a really big wasp. Really big wasp. I'm going to try and direct sow these. The worst thing that happens is nothing. But I've got the space and I've got the seeds, so I'm going to put these in the ground and see if anything happens by the end of the season, and see if they do better. I mean, it's August, it's still hot, 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 but by the time these guys germinate, it should be starting to cool off a little, and by cooling off I mean not 40 degrees, and see if they like those conditions any better. I mean, we don't really get a frost here until, well, if we're going to get it, it's well into January. So, you know, everyone seems to say that these get killed off only when the frost comes, like the dahlia. So I'm hoping that because we have such a long season, there might actually be time for these guys to do some stuff. So far, zinnia are a fail. Oh, this one's pretty. But let's see if we can fix it. Okay, so I've cleared out this little area where literally all I've got are like two little puffs of ponytails growing. So that's all we did out, and I'm going to put in some of these. So we'll start with the peaches and cream here, and then I'll put the green ones in there. Oh my god, mosquitoes! I mean, I still have a lot of seed, so I should get 2 rows. Can you see this little swarm of mosquitoes? There's literally like 50 flying around here right now. They've obviously not seen a human in days. I don't have as many green seeds left, so I'll maybe only get 1 row of those. Okay, so that is the other zinnia all planted in. Let's see if they do any better. Now, it's not been a complete failure. There is one thing, and that is my stem length. I'm getting a pretty good stem length on them. So the flowers themselves may be pretty disappointing, but they're very usable stems. So here's hoping that those will do something as the weather starts to cool down, and I might have some very, very, very late season zinnia come up that actually look the way they're meant to look, or at least the way the packet tells me they're going to look. Yeah. So that's all for this week. If you like what you see and you want to follow along and see if I actually get anything out of this garden, then please remember to hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back next week to show you what else is going on. If I'm still here, I might have been eaten by these mosquitoes. Seriously, this is insane. Anyway.